Welcome back to my channel, Homes with Hector. Today on this episode of Truck Talk, we're going to be covering a few things. Namely, what is going on in the housing market today, what some of those challenges are, and what some opportunities might be if you're thinking about buying or selling your home. Let's talk. So what in the world is going on in the housing market right now? Well, there's a lot of different factors that are contributing to the challenges in the market. But really, the number one thing that is causing stagnation in the market is the Fed. Why do I say that? Well, because as the Fed continues to increase the interest rate, their goal is to stagnate employment, spending, in order to bring inflation down. And that has a tremendous effect in the housing market. It has an effect on interest, mortgage interest. It has an effect on jobs and people moving for jobs, on the economy and the economy as a whole. And of course, that all impacts the housing market. That's one of the biggest challenges in the housing market today. But what specifically makes this market unique? Well, one of those things is that this is not your typical market correction. Generally, what we see happen when interest rates climb like they have is prices dramatically drop. That's not happening right now. Why is it not happening? Well, it's not happening because inventory is still at a 40-year low. We have buyers that are priced out due to the high prices of homes and due to the high interest rates. And we have sellers that don't want to enter the market for the same reason. So what that's causing is it's causing a real gridlock in the market. And what we're seeing is that typically people who transact in this market are folks that have to sell or buy rather than people who want to. Here in our local market of South Florida, most transactions are being done by people between the ages of 40 and 60. A lot of it has to do with the fact that they are generally empty nesters, their income has grown, and most importantly of all, they have either paid off their house or have a large equity position in their house, making them less interest rate sensitive. They actually look at this market and see opportunity. Opportunity because these are move-up people who are searching for their second or even their third house. What do I mean by opportunity? Well, if I own a house, my first house, say a starter house, and in my market that would be between $350 and say $500, and my children have moved out, gone to college, and now I have the opportunity to move up to say something between $500,000 and $800,000, that would make me a move-up buyer. And that's really where the opportunity lies in this market. It's in those move-up buyers. And here's what I mean. That move-up price point has taken a little bit of a hit in our local market, that $500,000 to $800,000. So if I'm purchasing between that $500,000 to $800,000 price point, I have a little bit more negotiation power given that there are fewer buyers in that market. So that gives me a little bit more leverage as a buyer. At the same time, if I'm selling between $300,000, $400,000, and $500,000, that's actually a market that is still red hot, receiving multiple offers because there's such low inventory. So that's where the opportunity really lies. If I'm a move-up buyer and I'm going from a quote-unquote starter home to my second or third home, I have leverage as a seller because the inventory is still very low. And at the same time, I have power as a buyer because that next tier market has slowed down. So that puts me as a seller and a buyer, a move-up seller and buyer, in a very unique position. So as I mentioned before, that truly is where the opportunity lies. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you found it informative. And if you're someone who's thinking about selling your first home and buying a second or even a third home here in South Florida, don't hesitate to give me a call with any questions you might have about the market. I'd be happy to answer all the questions you might have, and I'd be happy to be your real estate agent of choice.